Gold, it's Jonesy Amanda driving you home. April Fool's Day. Did you get fooled? I figure in the new era of Instagram and social media, it's so easy to fool people these days. It's a big
But
deal.
we're more cynical about it, maybe. But in the old days, what about that one we once did with you? We were having some publicity photos taken, and you, incidentally, had decided that you were just going to grow your hair, and everyone was saying, maybe cut it. It looked like electrical wire.
I was coming up to 50.
Well, what's the excuse? What does that mean?
You're coming up to 50 and you think, well, I'm going to grow my hair. Well, I've still got it. So I started growing this hair. It looked like electrical wiring.
It did.
And
we were having publicity photos taken, and our marketing person said, you sure don't want to get a haircut? And he said, no. So when we brought the photos out, he did a version of them for an April Fool's joke. And you thought we were doing another April Fool's joke that day.
Well,
so
we were doing something about some outrageous tax or something crazy.
So we caught you
so
off guard.
I was focused on that.
And instead, these photos came out.
Yeah.
We showed you the photo of we said the billboards are going
well,
up
I got
today.
5 mixed calls during the show. I don't have my phone in the studio, but I was walking past and my phone was ringing. And it was someone like, oh, we saw the new billboard. What the hell's going on with your hair? And I said, oh, good one. And I actually said probably 4 or 5 times April Fool's. But then I got deeper and deeper
Yeah, well,
into
let's explain what the hair looked like. It looked like sort of a round page boy, Lord Farquaad kind of a situation.
And you put extra hair in and you made my skin look all pasty.
Yeah. And then
you got Chris Brown.
Chris Brown was coming in anyway, and he played along as if he'd seen it on the billboard while he was driving in.
He said, I was driving in and then...
And you started to panic.
So what do you reckon they've done? Like, your hair doesn't do that. So you reckon?
No, they've cropped them up.
They've
cropped
it.
it.
But if it cuts off, if it cuts off there, then you end up looking like Lara Bing.
But they've bobbed it.
But that's how they'd styled it on the day.
They came in and I said...
Yeah, but if you look at this tufty bit here, if you look at that tufty bit there, it looks like a mullet.
But look, the skin was darker too. Look at my skin there.
Yeah, the skin's not great.
And it looked terrible. And I look at the great April Fool's Day pranks. Remember the jumbo under the harbour bridge? That was a nationwide thing. Everyone stood on the harbour foreshore waiting to see a 747 go under the harbour bridge.
And what was it?
It was just an elephant on a barge.
Yeah.
Which in itself is pretty impressive.
Well, that's right. I'd be impressed to see that.
I remember as well
That elephant through the eye of a needle that we did.
Collingwood, the Collingwood AFL side was going to move from Collingwood, Victoria, up to the sunny Gold Coast.
Ever since the VFL decided to buy a large property on the Gold Coast, there's been speculation that a Melbourne-based football club would leave Victoria and play in a Queensland league. We understand that Collingwood will leave Victoria to play in that state. People involved in the move, however, have refused to comment at this stage. But there's no doubt that Collingwood will be leaving Victoria Park to play in the Sunshine State.
They took that well, the Collingwood supporters, and that was the thing back when we used to do the early mornings. You could get people, before they aware.
Twigged that it was April 1.
But now with social media, everything twigs. But last night when I was going to bed, I just thought, imagine if there was a story that broke that we were moving over to be the new breakfast show over
to take
at
over
Kiss,
from Kyle and Jackie O.
to take the big hole that they have left behind.
So you put up a post this morning that looked very official, saying just that. I had texts and calls from people saying, "What are you
What's
really
going on?" I went to one of my mates' works, and one of his his apprentice said, "Well, is it true? Are you guys going there?" And I said, "Mate, what day is it?" And he goes, "Wednesday." And I said, "What date is it?" "The 1st of what?" And he goes, "April." And he's looking. I said, "April Fool's Day." And he goes, "What's that?"
Maybe it
He's
means
23.
nothing anymore.
Do the kids not prank anyone
We're going
anymore?
to put this to the pub test next.
On Gold.